Dan Fogelberg and Tim Weisberg on the loop in their latest album, Twin Sons of Different Mothers and Tell Me to My Face. Beatles, Don't Let Me Down, and I played some Foreigner, Long Way From Home. 3:35, this is Tom O'Toole, some Emerson, Lake and Palmer next. Stay with me because, our first long-distance loop excursion is about to happen. Now, we'll be sending somebody and a friend somewhere real warm to see Rod Stewart in concert. All you have to do is hang in there because I'm going to be passing along a copy of Rod's latest album, Blondes Have More Fun. If you grab it, we'll automatically throw your name in the qualifying hat, okay? And we'll have a drawing to determine who's off for luxury hotel accommodations, limo service, and a Rod Stewart concert. Front row seats, too. And I tried, but I just couldn't get backstage passes, so you'll have to negotiate on your own for backstage passes, but we'll get you to and from the concert, so stay with us.
That's information from the loop.
This one from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, The Gambler, from the Love Beach album on the loop.
Hey, mister, give me back them dice.
It's Traffic on the loop with Stevie Winwood. Feeling all right. Not looking too good, but feeling all right. I guess that's what counts. One from Eric Clapton from 461 Ocean Boulevard, and from the Love Beach album, Emerson, Lake and Palmer and The Gambler, or Hoedown Part 2. 3:50, this is Tom O'Toole, some James Taylor. In just a second, I'll play some Bob Seger, too. But right now, if you'd like to give me a call, 591-7210. You know the number. I have a special edition loop shirt that I can turn you on to. We'll send that special edition loop shirt to Paula Crutchfield. She lives in Stager, and I'll pass another one along in a little while, so stay with me. Here's James Taylor on the loop.
This Sunday on The Roots of Rock, a man they call Slow Hand, Eric Clapton. EC. Eric Clapton. The provider of some of rock's finest moments. Yeah. Join us for Eric Clapton this Sunday on The Roots of Rock from WLUP Chicago, FM 98. The Loop.
Eric Clapton.
It's Bob Seger on the loop. What a great song. That's from his latest album, Stranger in Town. And we've got tonight one from Joni Mitchell, Car on a Hill. Wait a minute, Madge. That hill is a car. Buried, 63rd and Kedzie, man. What a drag. And, of course, James Taylor, you've got a friend. 4:05, this is Tom O'Toole. We'll do some Who in just a second. Stay with me. If you're a student and you're into pursuing a higher education without the aid of drugs, here's the number of the Crossroads Student Center, 684-6060.
Researchers at MIT say television is fast becoming a very important element in foreign diplomacy.
Feeling tired, close your eyes, what do you see? I see myself, it's like slow motion TV.
TV has become vital to foreign diplomacy, and its coverage should be handled likewise. That's the conclusion of a research team at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology who did a study for TV Guide. The MIT team cited one example of their theory in the recent Mideast situation. TV had no problem following the events, since it generally was accepted that American and Israeli positions and goals were the same. But then, according to the study, there was a growing awareness of America's dependence on Arab oil. Suddenly, with the consensus shattered, both policymakers and the press began to feel a need to understand the Arab position. As a result, says the report, American attitudes are starting to shift to a more sympathetic stand. That's information from the Loop.
Here's Peter Townsend and the Who from Who Are Ya on the Loop. Jefferson Starship on the Loop. That's from the Earth LP and Count on Me. Of course, one from Peter Townsend and the Who Are You and Moody Blues, Story in Your Eyes. 4:20, this is Tom O'Toole. We'll do some Linda Ronstadt in just a second. One from Jackson Brown coming up, too. If you got to get out of the house and you got to get some party action in, of course, it's another Loop night tonight at the Thirsty Whale, and you're definitely invited. If your battery will start your car and get you there, definitely join us for 98-cent pitchers of beer, some good rock and roll with Dreamer tonight, and the Loop's own Matthew Meyer will be on hand. That is, if his battery will start his car to get him there. Thirsty Whale is at 8800 West Grand in River Grove, so make it on by.
There are 44 Just Pants stores in the Chicago area. There's one conveniently located near you. So go on into Just Pants first.
Chicago's winters mean cold, ice, snow, and cancellations. Jam invites you to make good your New Year's Eve with Todd Rundgren and Utopia this Friday at the Uptown. Is that music unthawed yet?
We need just one victory, and we're on our way. Hello, it's me.
Utopia featuring Todd Rundgren, Roger Powell, Kasim Sultan, and John Wilcox. Rescheduled for this Friday, January 5th, 7 and 10:30 at the Uptown.
They make them kind of more than nothing to say. And it's hot, that is a roll. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop love in action.
Todd Rundgren and Utopia, rescheduled for this Friday, January 5th at 7 and 10:30 at the Uptown. All previously purchased tickets will be honored. There are still good seats available at all Ticketron outlets. New Year's Eve at the Uptown, brought to you with a little help from your friends at Jam.
I have a special edition loop shirt that I'll pass along in a few minutes, so stay with me. They tell me that the Queen of Hearts is always the best bet. If that's the case, here is the Queen, Linda, on the loop. Bob Weir, Jerry Garcia, and the Grateful Dead on the loop. That's from the Shakedown Street album. And Good Lovin'. One from Jackson Brown, The Road, that big street that runs through Hyde Park. No, from Runnin' On Empty, his latest album, and some Linda Ronstadt, Desperado. 4:35, this is Tom O'Toole, some James Gang in just a second. I'll play some Leonard Skinner, too. Here's what's happening Saturday night at midnight on the New Loop Review, a brand new album from a local band called Trillion. Maybe you've seen or heard of them. Their album is hot off the presses, and we'll take a listen to that one. Also, the new one from Peter Tosh, the one called Bush Doctor. And there's a real neat electronic album from Jean-Michel Jarre. If you're into that sort of thing, we'll listen to that. And if you want to pick up any of the albums that you hear on the show, they'll be on sale next week at any one of the dog-ear record outlets in the city.
Job rolling papers, distributed by Adams Apple Distributing Company, Chicago, Illinois.
Liza Minnelli can relax. Goshen High School will take special care of the shoes.
Boy, I'm tired of pushing west. How long ago we leave Goshen?
About 2 hours ago.
Students at Goshen High School in Ohio just paid $375 for the original red shoes worn by Judy Garland in the movie The Wizard of Oz. They said they plan to use the shoes for an annual Judy Garland Award that will go to a senior who plans a career in the performing arts. Eldon Thomas, head of the music department at Goshen, said he thinks the award is fitting and assures Garland fans everywhere that they won't be hoarded away by some private collector. Thomas also wrote a letter to Garland's daughter, Liza Minnelli, who's been despondent with the sale of her mother's souvenirs. Said, Thomas, we understand and sympathize with your feelings, but the red shoes will be cared for and used with proper respect. That's information from the Loop.
Outbound traffic, pretty much the same right now. Stevenson, not all that bad. There is one particular stall on the Calumet at 105th in the second-hand lane. Also one on the Kennedy at Division, and again at Sacramento. So that's the situation. Here's some rock and roll with The Bomber and the James Gang on the Loop. Top-down music in a hard-top world. Those are the Cars on the Loop. Tom will play in his favorite band again. That's My Best Friend's Girl. Foreigner's Double Vision, one from Leonard Skinner, and the James Gang with Joe Walsh, Walk Away. 4:51, I'll play some Fleetwood Mac in just a second, but right now if you'd like to give me a quick ring, 591-7210, you remember the number. I have another special edition loop shirt that I can turn you on to. I'm going to send that special edition loop shirt to Greg Salner. He lives in Park Ridge, and I'll pass another one along in a little while, so stay with me. Here's Fleetwood Mac on the Loop. The Loop and Heart with Ann and Nancy, and that's Magic Man. Imagine how excited I was today when I opened up the mail and found this little letter to a Magic Man from a little queen. Huh? Dear Tom, you give hints that hit like a brick wall, but real slick, so thanks for the heart guitar pick. I mean, imagine how excited I was when I got the first of what promises to be at least 103 or 104 thank you letters for all of the heart guitar picks that I did send out just before Christmas, and I know that all of the thank you letters are on the way to me. Mail is still slow this time of year, you know. Shop early, mail early. Like, for example, this one was postmarked yesterday, the 3rd. Well, the post office just must be holding them all back, too. But I know they're on the way. 5:20, this is Tom O'Toole, some Beatles next. I have a copy of the new album from Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun. and I'll pass that along in a few minutes. Stay with me, and if you grab it, your name is automatically qualified in the drawing that will send some couple southbound in the sunshine to see Rod in concert. So stay with me. Here are the Beatles on the loop. C'est la vie. That's Styx on the loop from their latest album, Pieces of Eight, and Sing for the Day. Some Jethro Tull, Skating Away on the Thin Ice of a New Day, and Beatles, Let It Be. 5:35, this is Tom O'Toole. We'll do some Stones next.
The music continues this weekend at Old Chicago with Jimmy and Janice together again. A recreation of the Hendrix Joplin Rock Legend, Saturday at 4 and 8 p.m. and Sunday at 2 and 6 p.m. Next weekend, Old Chicago Amusement Park welcomes Brownsville Station, Saturday at 4 and 8 p.m. and Sunday at 2 and 6 p.m. The recreation of the Hendrix Joplin Rock Legend, Jimmy and Janice together again this Saturday and Sunday at Old Chicago and Brownsville Station next weekend. Old Chicago, where you get the thrill rides, roller coasters, Windy City Disco, and all the live shows for one low admission price with plenty of free parking, too. Tickets available at the park and all Ticketron outlets. Old Chicago, just 35 minutes from downtown. Take the Stevenson I-55 south to Route 53 in Bolingbrook. Old Chicago, you gotta be there.
People around the United States have made millionaires of the developers of pet rocks and do-it-yourself clone kits. Now it seems they're buying nothing.
Well, if you get nothing, well, that's what I want. A true Zen saying, nothing is what I want.
Nothing is exactly what they're buying, and they're buying it from John Fackler, a commercial artist from Omaha.
I'm still the king of nothing.
For just $1, Fackler will sell you absolutely nothing, and he'll even send you a letter and a bumper sticker as proof of purchase. What does the sticker say? Absolutely nothing, in black type on a fluorescent orange background. Fackler said the nature of his business is creating ads to sell anything, and with inflation being what it is today, he thought it would be easier to sell nothing than something. So far, the results are just marginal. In fact, one person sent Fackler his ad with a note that said, "Sit on it." Fackler said he wrote back that he'd followed the instruction and found it quite comfortable. That's information from the Loop.
Actually, sure. Outbound traffic right now, Kennedy, still the same, so is the Ryan, but the Stevenson, whoa, something's real crazy. It is very tight from the Loop all the way out to Harlem for some unknown reason. Here are the Stones on the Loop. Those are the Pointer Sisters on the Loop. That's from their latest album, Energy and Fire. One from Cream with Eric Clapton, Badge, and Steve Miller, The Stake, and Stones from Some Girls, When the Whip Comes Down. 5:50, this is Tom O'Toole. I'll play some Bob Seger in just a second, but right now, if you'd like to give me a call, 591-7210. Remember the number? I have a copy of that latest album from Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun. If you score the album, we'll throw your name into the qualifying hat for tickets for 2 to see Rod Stewart somewhere in the sunshine, so give me a call. We'll send that Rod Stewart album to Robert White. His friends call him Bob, and I can understand why. Robert, your name also automatically qualifies you for a drawing that will send somebody southbound into the sunshine to see Rod Stewart in concert, so stay with us. We've got some more albums to pass along in a while. Here's Bob Seger on the Loop. Those are the Allman Brothers on the Loop. Jessica from the Brothers and Sisters album, and Bob Seger's Night Moves. Working on them with Patty. We'll talk with her in just a second at 6:05. This is Tom O'Toole. You know, there are about 3,000 different activities at the Learning Exchange, everything from learning new languages to finding out how to play different musical instruments. Here's a number you can call for information, 273-3383.
Match yourself up on the few, the proud, the Marines.
There's a war brewing here in the United States between France and Poland, and it's all over water.
In an ocean or in a glass, cool water is such a gas.
Beverage World magazine reports that a battle is on between France's Perrier water and a new challenger, Poland water. Both are vying for the chunk of the sizable soft drink market here in America. Perrier expects to garner 1% of that field this year, and Poland water is beginning to make strides there as well. Who buys all that imported water? Lots of us, including people who do a lot of traveling in RVs. Rather than use the water that's been sloshing around in the tank, more and more folks are turning to the bottled variety. Of course, much of the boom comes from the tavern industry, where ordering bottled water with drinks and dinner has become the height of the trendy chic. There may not be a kick to it, but leaving that little bottle on the table when you leave is apparently worth it. That's information from the Loop.
We ought to bottle some Chicago River water and send it to France, Patty. Wouldn't that be a hot idea? We could actually go down on Chicago Avenue, and get some old MD 2020 bottles and fill them up with the water, ship them over there. It's a hit.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I can imagine they probably do things like, put what do you call that stuff? Decoupage stuff on the front of the bottle. Stick little straw flowers in them. Yeah, it sounds hip and trendy to me.
$7.83 a bottle.
Little fish, too. You can't beat that. Here's Justin Hayward on the Loop. The Loop in Genesis. So seconds out at 6:21. That's the closing section of the musical box, and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. A couple of their greatest works. Justin Hayward in there, too. Good evening, I'm Patty Hayes. Just like you, doing my best to stay warm tonight. Boy, I was outside earlier today. Try to keep that to a minimum. Maybe we'll warm things up with a little cooker from Joni Mitchell. Anyway, we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Billy Joel, one of my all-time favorite artists, will be featured tomorrow morning between 6 and 10 with Lester. Join him for that. In just a few minutes, I'll have an extra official Loop shirt for you. Stay with me for that. Here's Bob Dylan on the Loop. Yeah, I'm with you. The Loop and the Doobie Brothers. It's called Minute by Minute. It's a title song from their new one. Big Yellow Taxi from Joni Mitchell. Some classic Bob Dylan stuff in there, too. Good evening. It's Patty with you at 6:35. We've got rock and roll from Led Zeppelin set to go for a lady trying to clean her apartment out in Schaumburg tonight. We won't mention who else needs to do that. The Thirsty Whale on West Grand Avenue in River Grove is a real good place to party. It's also a great place to stop in and pick up your free Loop window or bumper stickers. Or if you'd like to, you can drop me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'll get some back to you, too. My address is 875 North Michigan Avenue. It's in Chicago. My zip code is 60611.
Just about everyone's heard of the human potential movement, meditation, yoga, EST, etc. But are you ready to immerse yourself in the canine potential movement? It all started with a California physical therapist who treats his patients with a deep pressure massage called rolfing, the star of the human potential movement. Soon Robert Pritchard began using the technique on dogs and found it did wonders for those who've been injured or ill. While rolfing can be rather painful, dogs don't seem to mind as much as humans because they accept it as a part of life, according to Pritchard. Consequently, said the therapist, he only charges $30 for a canine session, as opposed to the $40 fee he levies on human patients. Pritchard says it's cheaper in the long run, too, since dogs don't need as many treatments. That's information from the Loop.
Off Misplaced Ideals, here's Sad Cafe and Restless on the Loop. The Loop and Nicolette Larson. Oh, that's so nice. That's called A Lot of Love. You'll find that on her debut album, which is just called Nicolette. She's Gone from Hall & Oates and Fleetwood Mac, too. We've got music from David Bowie to get into shortly for an artist over by Lincoln Park working late tonight. I'm Patty. It's 8:36 Saturday at midnight on the New Loop Review. We've got some pretty interesting music to check out. The debut album from a local band called Trillion. Also electronic stuff, if you're into that. You'll like Jean-Michel Jarre's new effort. And Bush Doctor from Peter Tosh. A little bit of something for everybody. Keep in mind also that those albums will be on sale next week for you at all Hear Hear record stores.
If you're one of those people who have to know the exact time, there's now a number that's more accurate than the Time Lady.
Exactly.
Time freaks can now get the Coordinated Universal Time from the National Bureau of Standards in Boulder, Colorado.
At the tone, 21 hours, 4 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
At the facility in the Rockies, time is kept with atomic clocks and synchronized with the 24-hour Universal Time chronometers at Greenwich, England. To get the precise, real-deal, no-baloney fix on the time, call area code 303-499-7111. Although the government will give you the time of day for free, you'll have to pay for the call. That's area code 303-499-7111. That's information from the Loop.
At the tone, 21 hours, 5 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Off the Inner Secrets album, here's Santana and Stormy on the Loop. Great stuff on the Loop from Emerson, Lake and Palmer at 8:50. That's called C'est La Vie. David Bowie with Ziggy Stardust, and Santana did Stormy too. I'm Patty. We've got rock and roll from The Who on the way, and if you'd like my extra copy of Rod Stewart's latest album, Blinds Have More Fun, just give me a quick call. My number is 591-7210. Also remember that this album will qualify you for our first long-distance loop excursion to Sun Country to see Rod in concert. We're going to wrap up a copy of Rod Stewart's latest album, Blinds Have More Fun, and send it to Mark Hofsnagel. Mark lives in Park Forest. Mark is now qualified for our first long-distance loop excursion to see Rod Stewart in concert. Here's Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young on the Loop.
On the glide path now. Roger, ground control. We are flying high. We're WLUP Chicago, FM 98. The Loop.
The Loop in Dire Straits in 906. That's called The Sultans of Swing. The Real Me from The Who. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young in there as well. I'm Patty with some Led Zeppelin. For a couple of ladies fooling around with a Ouija board in the city tonight. Well, it's been a long time since I've done that. So number 2, Citizens for a Better Environment. If you'd like to get involved in this project, call 939-1984.
Teenage runaways can now let their folks know they're okay with a simple phone call. The Illinois Department of Law Enforcement has established a national toll-free hotline to help runaways let their folks know they're okay. Tyrone Fauner, director of the state agency, said the hotline will relay a message to parents or guardians of the caller without hassle or charge. Through the hotline, runaways can at least eliminate the anguish of uncertainty for those not knowing if a loved one is alive or dead. All calls, he said, will be kept confidential, and no attempt will be made to trace the location of any callers not interested in coming home. The toll-free number is 800-231-6946. 800-231-6946. That's information from the Loop.
Off Hot Streets, Chicago on the Loop. Music from the Asia album on the Loop. Steely Dan and Black Cow. Good Times, Bad Times from Led Zeppelin. Chicago in there, too. We're going to mellow out with a nice one from Loggins and Messina in a couple of minutes. I'm Patty. It's 9:20. Our first long-distance loop excursion is here. We're going to fly you and a friend to warm weather, set you up with first-class hotel accommodations, and limo you to and from a Rod Stewart concert. Now, to get in on it, just connect with one of the copies of Rod's latest album, Blondes Have More Fun, as we hand them out. We'll put all the names in a hopper, and if your name is pulled out, you're off to see Rod in concert, so stay with us.
People who understand. Number 1.
I've got an extra official Loop shirt for you. I'm going to hand it over in just a few minutes, so if you'd like it, stay with me. Here's Jackson Browne on the Loop. Yeah, the Loop and Ian Matthews. Stealing Home, that's called Shake It at 9:36. Changes from Loggins and Messina, Jackson Browne in there, too. I'm Patty Hayes. If you're into Neil Young, stay with me. We got some good stuff from him to listen to in a minute. You can purchase for a small price an official Loop shirt. Keep in mind that when you do, a portion of the proceeds are donated to the Little City Charities and the fine work they do. If you'd like to buy one, stop at Viking Ski and Sport at 3422 West Fullerton and pick it up. It's here in Chicago.
Researchers at MIT say television is fast becoming a very important element in foreign diplomacy.
what do you see? I see myself, it's like slow motion TV.
TV has become vital to foreign diplomacy, and its coverage should be handled likewise. That's the conclusion of a research team at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology who did a study for TV Guide. The MIT team cited one example of their theory in the recent Mideast situation. TV had no problem following the events, since it generally was accepted that American and Israeli positions and goals were the same. But then, according to the study, there was a growing awareness of America's dependence on Arab oil. Suddenly, with the consensus shattered, both policymakers and the press began to feel a need to understand the Arab position. As a result, says the report, American attitudes are starting to shift to a more sympathetic stand. That's information from the Loop.
It's a title song from the latest album from Ronnie Laws. This is called Flame on the Loop. It's Neil Young on the Loop with Alabama Flame from Ronnie Laws, too. Stand by. We've got some rock and roll from Linda Ronstadt to do in a minute. I'm Patty Hayes. It's 9:50. My phone number is 591-7210. If you'd like my extra official Loop shirt, I'll send it out to you if you'll give me a quick call.
What do Mike?
Joe Clark lives in Naperville. We're going to wrap up an official Loop shirt and send it out to him with our compliments. Thanks for listening, Joe. Hear the Stones on the Loop.
This Sunday on The Roots of Rock, a man they call Slow Hand, Eric Clapton. EC. Eric Clapton. The provider of some of rock's finest moments. Yeah. Join us for Eric Clapton this Sunday on The Roots of Rock from WLUP Chicago, FM 98. The Loop.
Eric Clapton.
What year is this, anyway?
The Loop and the Eagles. It's called A Funky New Year. Those guys are truly outrageous. Poor, poor, pitiful me from Linda Ronstadt. And the Stones in there, too. It's 10:05. Good evening. I'm Patty Hayes. Bill Evans has joined us. We're going to chat with him in a minute. Here's the number to zip code information. Boy, I like this service a whole lot, you know. If you lose somebody's zip code, call these people up, give them the address, and they'll locate the zip for you. Reach them at 886-2590.
Liza Minnelli can relax. Goshen High School will take special care of the shoes.
Boy, I'm tired of pushing west. How long ago we leave Goshen?
About 2 hours ago.
Students at Goshen High School in Ohio just paid $375 for the original red shoes worn by Judy Garland in the movie The Wizard of Oz. They said they plan to use the shoes for an annual Judy Garland Award that will go to a senior who plans a career in the performing arts. Eldon Thomas, head of the music department at Goshen, said he thinks the award is fitting and assures Garland fans everywhere that they won't be hoarded away by some private collector. Thomas also wrote a letter to Garland's daughter, Liza Minnelli, who's been despondent with the sale of her mother's souvenirs. Said, Thomas, we understand and sympathize with your feelings, but the red shoes will be cared for and used with proper respect. That's information from the Loop.
Well, good evening, Bill.
Going to be a funky new year, let me tell you. Dodging ice from the top of the John Hancock Center.
Did that happen to you today, too?
Boy, I almost got beamed on my way in earlier today.
Well, I saw a big, huge chunk fall down and land on top of a truck, and that was when I decided that the best place for me was 3 blocks away.
Or inside the building itself.
Really?
Here's Foreigner music on the Loop. The Loop with the Alan Parsons Project, and that's from the Pyramid LP, Voyager and What Goes Up. Purple Haze from Hendrix, and Blue Morning, Blue Day from Foreigner's latest LP. It's 10:20, and I'm Bill Evans. Got a real pretty song from the Moody Blues for you in just a couple. And if you live in Evanston and desire Loop window or bumper stickers, stop at McKay Dotson. That's in Evanston. And if you're not in Evanston, you can send us a self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll shoot them back to you in the mail.
Make sure the envelope is big enough so that we don't have to fold them over, because they look better if there's no crease in the middle. Use this address, please, 875 North Michigan Avenue, Chicago, 60611. If you don't have a loop shirt yet and you desire one, hang on. In just a few minutes, I'll be passing one along in your size. Here's The Who on the loop. Just one of a number of great tunes from the Champagne Jam album, The Loop with ARS. Also, the James Gang, Funk number 49, and the Doobies, too. What a Fool Believes. It's 10:50. I'm Bill Evans. We got Beatles music for you next. And if you would like a loop shirt, I'll have it mailed to your house if you let me know what size and your address. Call right now, please, at this number, 591-7210.
So go on into Just Pants First.
Mary Ranahan lives in Winfield and just gave me a phone call. I'm going to find out what size T-shirt she takes and mail a loop shirt to her. Thanks a lot for listening, Mary. You're the Beatles on the Loop.
It's here at last. The first long-distance loop excursion for you and a friend to see Rod Stewart in concert.
Just tell your mother that you're my friend.
The premier long-distance loop excursion, flying you and a friend to see Sexy Rod in concert. While there, you'll stay in a deluxe hotel, and we'll get you a limo to and from the show that night. You could have all the fun. Just grab a copy of Rod's latest, Blondes Have More Fun, when we pass it along. From those names, we'll draw one who goes to the show. It all happens here at WLUP Chicago, FM 98, The Loop.
Do you think I'm sexy? Rod Stewart on the Loop with Bill Evans for a couple of young ladies in Hammond who are welcoming a friend back from the Navy tonight. ELO, Strange Magic, and the Beatles with Strawberry Fields Forever at 11:06. Some Bad Company music headed your way in a couple, and if you have questions about the legalization of pot or just exactly what the laws are concerning you and that particular substance, get in touch with the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. NORMAL, the name of the organization, actually. And here's their number in Illinois, 782-4331.
That's information from the Loop.
I'll sell you nothing for $50. Here's Journey on the Loop. Kansas. With the title tune from The Point of No Return on the Loop. Bad Company's Burning Sky and A Wheel in the Sky from Infinity by Journey. I'm Bill Evans. It's 11:20. We're going to roll some Hotel California type Eagles music for you in just a moment. That's coming up next. The free day off today went to Billy Turner Jr., who works for $1 Million Round Table. And you can get a free day off, too. Lester will do it for you. If you send him a postcard, that's all he requires. Use this address, 875 North Michigan Avenue, Chicago, 60611, and address it to Lester's attention, care of the Morning Loop. Be sure to include your boss's name and number on that postcard and the time that you get up and go to work each day, and then Lester will let you know when it happens, so listen to him from 6 to 10 a.m. each day. If you'd like to qualify for a long-distance loop excursion to go to a nice warm place to see Rod Stewart in concert, all that you have to do is score a copy of Rod's new album, Blondes Have More Fun, and I'll be passing one along in just a few minutes, so stay close to the Loop. Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes on the Loop. Trapped Again from the Hearts of Stone LP. Their latest, Little Feat's Time Loves a Hero, and Hotel California from the Eagles. I'm Bill Evans. It's 11:36, and we'll do Led Zeppelin in just a couple. A few minutes ago, I mentioned long-distance loop excursions, and I had a guy from West Chicago call and say, what the hell are you talking about? And what a long-distance loop excursion is, I explained to him, is we send you to a nice concert in a warm spot, pick up the entire tab, airfare, hotel, limo, the whole shot. And the first one, the kickoff long-distance loop excursion, is Rod Stewart. And all that you have to do is score a copy of Blondes Have More Fun. I'll be handing one along in just a few minutes. Stand by for that. And also, you might want to start packing your bags because when you score the LP, your name goes in for a drawing, and everybody that scores a Rod Stewart LP is eligible for it.
That's information from the Loop.
Yeah, give me that green bottle every time. Or a black and tan, I don't care. A brand new LP from Phil Manzanera, excellent guitarist who was with Roxy Music for a long time and is back with them again, as a matter of fact. Here's the title tune from Phil's new album, K-Scope, on the Loop. The Loop with Steely Dan and the Royal Scam. Immigrant Song, that's Led Zeppelin. And Phil Manzanera, K-Scope, great instrumental tune. A lot of nice vocals on that particular album, too. I'm Bill Evans, it's 11:51, and we're going to do Jackson Browne music very shortly. I've also got a copy of Rod Stewart's new LP, Blondes Have More Fun, and if you give me a call at 591-7210 right now and score that Rod Stewart LP, it qualifies you for Long Distance Loop Excursion #1. Bill Dunn lives in Chicago and just exclaimed that he's a lucky person, and he certainly is. We're going to mail him a copy of Blondes Have More Fun, the new Rod Stewart LP, and enter his name in the drawing for Long Distance Loop Excursion #1, which is a concert in a real warm place. We're going to send somebody to go see Rod Stewart in concert far south where it's not cold. Thanks a lot for listening, Bill. Here are the Stones on the Loop.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, you're on the air. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, am I on the air?
Turn us on anytime. We're always on the air. We're WLUP Chicago, FM 98, The Loop.
Steve Cropper and Duck Dunn.
The Loop with the Blues Brothers. Steve Cropper and Duck Dunn were on the original Soul Man with Sam and Dave, and they helped out Belushi and Aykroyd on their LP, Briefcase Full of the Blues, the Soul Man tune. Jackson Browne, Lifestyle, Running on Empty. And Satisfaction from the Stones, that famous Devo tune. It's 12:05. Good morning. I'm Bill Evans. We're going to roll Bruce Springsteen music for you next. If you'd like to check out how many traffic tickets you have outstanding before you stop down to take care of them, you might have to take a loan out from the bank or whatever, here's the phone number of the Chicago Traffic Court, 443-6080.
That's information from the Loop.
Here's Bruce Springsteen on the Loop. Boston from the first album on the Loop, Foreplay and Long Time. Rock and Roll Stew from Traffic, and Bruce Springsteen, Badlands, off his latest, Darkness on the Edge of Town. It's 12:21, and I'm Bill Evans. We'll roll Fleetwood Mac music, a tune they never included on an LP for you very shortly. The New Loop Review happens Saturday at midnight, and we've got 3 good ones lined up for you. A local band named Trillion heard their album for the first time last night, and it's deluxe stuff. Check that one out. Also, Jean-Michel Jarre, who is a European synthesizer whiz, has put out a new album called Equinox, is the name of his, yes. And Peter Tosh, Bush Doctor, has that great tune on it with Mick Jagger. You got to walk and don't look back. I'd be walking 500 miles barefoot. And we'll check out all 3 of those on the New Loop Review Saturday at midnight. Be with us, please. And find those albums on sale and display the following week at any of the Rainbow Record locations.
That's an urban survival tip from the Loop.
I have a Loop shirt that I'll be more than happy to pass along in your size. I'll do that in a few minutes, so stand by. Here's the Starship on the Loop. Fleetwood Mac on the Loop with Silver Spring. And the Starship, Miracles off Red Octopus. They've just undergone some personnel changes. They've replaced Gracie Slick with another female vocalist, and they've also picked up a drummer by the name of Ainsley Dunbar, one of the best in the biz, who just got bounced from Journey, and he'll be joining the Starship. Hopefully they'll go on tour soon. It's 12:35, and I'm Bill Evans. New stuff from Santana is next. If there's something I can help you with, use this number anytime, 591-7210.
The Commerce Department has just finished a new study that says people don't like fish with awful names.
Now see there? Look at this big old string of fish. Old Charlie and them tried to tell me I wouldn't guess nothing. Look at that catfish on the end. Woo, he's a big one.
The study cost $65,000 and found that people don't like to eat fish with weird names. Fishermen have complained to commerce officials because a federal law requires that fish be sold by their proper name. So delicious fish like ratfish, dogfish, and cancer crabs, rat-tail fish, beard grunts, and gagfish are all being ignored by the public. A Chicago consulting firm was hired by a disgruntled fishermen's organization, and they've confirmed the fishers' fears. They've recommended that a new rating system be set up to let people know that gagfish are just as tasty as the famous red snapper. And if that doesn't work, said the firm, change the damn name.
I'm going to get the whole neighborhood over here and fry these up and just have a good old fish fry. Yes, sir.
That's information from the Loop.
Ooh, it's starting to smell good.
Give me a piece of gar, please. The new Santana album is called Inner Secrets, and they redo a real old one that was written by Buey and Cobb a long time ago for the Classics 4. The song is called Stormy. Here's Santana on the Loop. Marshall Tucker Band on the Loop in Can't You See? Neil Young with the Cinnamon Girl backed up by Crazy Horse for a flight attendant who lives in Antioch. And Santana with Stormy at 12:50. If you would like a Loop shirt, all that you have to do is give me a call right now at 591-7210. Let me know what your size and address is, and then I will have it mailed right to your house. Just call me right now, and I'll set you up. Here are the Beatles on the Loop.
He's a real nowhere man.
This Sunday on The Roots of Rock, a man they call Slow Hand, Eric Clapton. EC. Eric Clapton. The provider of some of rock's finest moments. Yeah. Join us for Eric Clapton this Sunday on The Roots of Rock from WLUP Chicago, FM 98. The Loop.
Eric Clapton.
Well, if I was ever going to go to 52nd Street, he would be my tour guide. Billy Joel on the Loop with Stiletto from his latest LP. A lot of Billy Joel music coming up later this morning. Lester will be doing Billy Joel as his featured artist. Eric Clapton from 461 Ocean Boulevard, Mainline, Florida. Lucky Man from the first ELP LP, and the Beatles, too. It's 106, and I'm Bill Evans. Good morning. Pink Floyd music coming up very shortly for a young lady who's knocking down a few brews in Westmont.
You're still a young man, way back. Ooh, don't waste your time.
The legal drinking age is now 21, thanks to a recent revision of the state ordinance that made it legal for 19 and 20-year-olds to purchase beer and wine. Mary McDonald, who introduced the revision ordinance, said the law permitting younger consumption had backfired and produced increased crime and accident problems throughout the county. Board President George Dunn cited problems with young drinkers in the county's forest preserves as well. To override the state law, the board members used their home rule powers. Dunn hopes the state will follow the board's lead and revise the age restrictions statewide. As it is now, said Dunn, kids can drive a couple of miles to another town where the old law lives and skirt the ordinance entirely. That's information from the Loop.
I'll drink to that. Here's one from Octave, the Moody Blues on the Loop. Pink Floyd on the Loop. Welcome to the machine from Wish You Were Here. Well, here they come. I wished them, and there they are. Moody Blues, too, with Driftwood at 121. I'm Bill Evans, and we have Loggins and Messina coming up in just a couple. Long-distance Loop excursions have arrived. All that you have to do to qualify for the drawing that will send somebody to a nice warm area to see Rod Stewart in concert is pick off a copy of Rod's latest album, Blondes Have More Fun, and we'll be giving some more away a little bit later this morning. The deal is we'll set you up with airfare and hotel and limo service and concert tickets and the whole shot for you and a friend. And long-distance Loop excursion number 1, like I said, deals with Rod Stewart, and we'll have more of those, too.
That's an urban survival tip from the Loop.
If you've been dying for a Loop shirt, just hold on for a few more minutes. I'll pass one along in your size. Here are the Eagles from Desperado on the Loop. Strange Way. Firefall on the Loop from their latest LP, and if you got off on the flute in that, you'll love the Jethro Tull song that I have coming up in just a few minutes. Loggins and Messina, also from their very first LP together, and the Eagles, Tequila Sunrise at 1:36. I'm Bill Evans with, like I said, Jethro Tull headed your way shortly. And if you haven't been lucky enough to pick off a Loop shirt yet for free, you can buy one for very cheaply like less than $2.50 at a lot of places. The proceeds from the sale of Loop shirts go to the charity work done by Little City. And Disc Records in the Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg is one of the spots you can get Loop shirts.
You're invited to Loop Night, Tuesdays at the Thirsty Whale, located at 8800 West Grand Avenue in River Grove. You'll catch some great music and get a great deal. The beer will flow at only 98 cents a pitcher.
We're gonna get energized now.
So come on in and help kick off Loop Night at the Thirsty Whale every Tuesday night. Bring along some friends and take advantage of those 98-cent pitchers. Tonight, see Jesse Brady.
Church attendance in the United States is steady and holding.
Is it going to be all right?
It's going to be all right.
Oh, you bet. Dear friends, it is going to be all right. It's going to be all right tonight here at the Powerhouse Church of the Presumptuous Assumption of the Blinding Light.
41% of the nation's adults attended churches or synagogues in a typical week last year, which was the same figure as in 1977. Little change has occurred in recent years, although a look at trends reveals a gradual decline since 1958, when church attendance was at its peak of 49%. Other revelations to come from the attendance study showed that Catholics are more dutiful with worship than Protestants, and women more so than men. The least likely group to attend services are adults between 18 and 29.
I'm Deacon E.L. Mouse, but dear friends...
That's information from the Loop.
Yeah, this is a good one. Put your headphones on or just crank it up to volume 10 and get into the unbelievable bass lines of Jaco Pastorius with Weather Report from the Mr. Gone LP. Here's The Pursuit of the Woman in the Feathered Hat on the Loop. Somebody spit some water on me. I'm hot-blooded. Foreigner on the Loop from Double Vision. Jethro Tull, Cross-Eyed Mary, in Pursuit of the Woman in the Feathered Hat from the latest Weather Report LP. And it's 1:51. I'm Bill Evans with Doobie Brothers music headed your way very shortly. Also, a Loop shirt headed your way if you call me right now at 591-7210. I'm talking to Tom McNiscus on the telephone. He lives in West Chicago, and I'm going to mail him a Loop shirt as soon as I find out what size he takes. Thanks a lot for listening, Tom. We appreciate it. Here's Led Zeppelin on the Loop.
This Sunday at 10:30 p.m. on the Loop, Peter Paul presents Alien Worlds.
The sun is losing electromagnetic energy.
To those aboard Starlab, a space observatory, the sun seemed to be going dead.
The mass proximity indicators are registering some kind of solid object near the sun.
Radio, on the threshold of the unknown. Alien Worlds, brought to you by Peter Paul.
This is ground control.
Take a journey into Alien Worlds, Sunday nights at 10:30 on WLUP Chicago, FM 98, The Loop.
The Doobies on the Loop with China Grove from The Captain and Me, and the Rain Song from Led Zeppelin, too. It's 2:05. Good morning, I'm Bill Evans. If you ever need the winter road and weather conditions, the state police have this telephone number operating around the clock for Chicago residents at 283-6204. If you're in the Rockford area, use this number, 815-962-7051. Yeah, what year is this, anyway? This thing ever going to stop? Jeez. How you doing, Billy? Well, I'm, seen any UFOs lately? No, but I keep volunteering to be picked up, you know, and they just don't seem to get the hint. I don't know, is there a particular corner I should be hanging out at, maybe? Yeah, it's Dearborn and Randolph. She costs $50. Right in front of curtains. Dearborn and Randolph, oh. No, that isn't. Those two run parallel, don't they? I don't know. Well, how was Loop Night today? It was great. We had a good time. Well, of course, I always do. I don't really need much. You're easily amused, huh? Paper cup and some beer in it, and I'm happy. So we had... sound amazingly like O'Toole. Yeah, but I don't stare at other guys' girls like he does, and people spit on him.
That one's funny.
Yes. Well, Tom, if you're
You should
listening.
probably stop talking about it. We don't want to embarrass the poor boy.
No, not at all. Have a good day, Bill.
I will.
Got some Daryl Holland on notes right now on the Loop. Yeah, the Loop and Lou Reed, intro and Sweet Jane from Rock and Roll Animal. And that's why I like working all nights, because I can turn that up real loud. And if I was a dentist, I obviously couldn't do that at my job. And I'm very happy to be here at 220. It's Matthew Meyer. I have Hall & Oates right before that. It's a laugh off their latest. And I got one from Genesis on the way. Our long-distance loop excursions are off and running. The first one will be, hopefully, for you and a friend to go off and see Rod Stewart someplace above 32 degrees. And how that works, if you score the Rod Stewart album we pass along, you're qualified for that drawing. That includes round-trip airfare and luxury hotel accommodations and limo service. If you could stand that, just stay close.
That's an urban survival tip from the Loop.
I'll be sending along my first Loop shirt of the new year. If you'd like to grab onto that, just stay close. Here's Alan Parsons and the title song from I, Robot on the Loop.
Rock and roll from Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes on the Morning Loop. Trapped again. Love Too Good from the Starship. And Do You Believe in Magic? A receptionist called me to say, thank me for playing that song. She really likes it. My pleasure. 9:51 the time. I am Lester with the Beatles and also the Doobie Brothers coming next. I have an extra copy of the Rod Stewart album, Blondes Have More Fun. If you'd like to have it, just call me. 591-7210 is my number. And if you grab it, you'll be eligible for the drawing where we're going to fly some folks to the Southland to see Rod Stewart in concert. My number again, 591-7210. These are the Beatles on the Loop.
This Sunday on The Roots of Rock, a man they call Slow Hand, Eric Clapton. E.C. Eric Clapton. The provider of some of rock's finest moments. Yeah. Join us for Eric Clapton this Sunday on The Roots of Rock from WLUP Chicago, FM 98. The Loop.
Eric Clapton,
Jay Giles Band on the Morning Loop and One Last Kiss, and it keeps you running, the Doobie Brothers. Hi, I'm Lester. It's 10:05, and here's an important phone number you might want to keep handy in case you ever need it. I hope you don't, but it's the number for the emergency physician. If your doctor is out of town, you can get help, medical aid, by calling 922-0417. We'll talk to Christopher next.
That's information from the Loop.
Hi, Christopher. How you doing?
Good. Good indeed. I've just enrolled myself in this Nordic survival class so that I can get to work every day, taught by one of Admiral Byrd's students.
That's about what you need.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Is this ever going to stop?
Oh, yeah. It will eventually, I'm sure.
Well, anyway, we'll warm ourselves up with some rock and roll. Here's Hall & Oates on the Loop. The Loop and James Taylor. It's from the Sweet Baby James album. Tune is Fire and Rain. Firefall, just remember I love you no matter how cold it gets. We play one from Joni Mitchell, Help Me, and Hall & Oates from Along the Red Ledge. It's a Laugh was the name of the tune. Good morning, it's 10:20. I'm Christopher. How are you today? Okay, well, not too bad myself, thank you. We getting a lot closer to the weekend. You're going to spend a little time relaxing this weekend, I hope. Maybe some household activity. Listen, if you're up at midnight Sunday night, we have something special going on at midnight on the New Loop Review. In case you haven't heard the new Peter Tosh album, he gets quite a bit of help from Mick Jagger on the LP. In fact, it's the first act to be on Rolling Stone Records since the Stones established the label. We'll take a look at that new album on the New Loop Review, as well as a local band who call themselves Trillion. I think you'll like that, so join us for it. Then, of course, next week, those records will be on display and on sale at all Laurie's Discount Record stores. In case you haven't had a chance to pick up a Loop shirt somewhere around town, I have an extra, and if you stay with me, I'll pass it along to you in just a few minutes. Here's Paul Simon on the Loop. Those are the Cars on the Loop from the self-titled album. My Best Friend's Girl is the name of the tune. Supertramp's Dreamer. Geez, it's real easy to do that when you should be doing something else, isn't it? I played one from Maria Muldaur and Day Tripper from the Beatles, too. It's 10:50 with Chris. Listen, I know you're probably pretty busy, but if you have an extra minute and you're Fingers are feeling nimble. Why don't you ring me up at 591-7210? I have a little gift for you. It's a little early to buy you black and tan, but I'll pass along my extra loop shirt to you. Tomorrow and Sunday at the amphitheater. Sue Glulio lives in Melrose Park, and she's going to get my extra loop shirt. In a little while, I'll be passing along a Rod Stewart album that'll qualify you for a drawing to go see Rod in concert in the sunshine. In the meantime, here's a nice tune from the Eagles on the loop.
To look at pictures on the radio.
You're on the loop.
I'm not a drinking man, Mr. Cox. I swear to hell I saw it. It doesn't ruin your vision like a TV show.
Well, the happy hour news is back.
Well, I'm about to get sick from watching my TV.
Turn off your set.
Turn up that radio. I want to rock and roll with you.
Thanks for stopping by. We're WLUP Chicago, FM 98, The Loop.
That's Poco on the loop from the new album entitled Legend. It's for a lady out in Evanston, dental assistant who knows her music. Into Poco severely. Shadow Captain from Crosby, Stills & Nash, and we played one from the Eagles, too. It's 11:05 with Christopher. We'll do some Moody Blues up next. Stay with me for that. Listen, if you're not pleased with the city school system, you can start your own school, as a matter of fact. Remember our Miss Brooks? Sure you can. Center for New School number is 435-3838 if you want to give them a call.
That's information from the loop.
At the tone, 21 hours, 5 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Like we don't have enough nonsense telling us what time it is already, right? This is from the reunion album called Octave. Hear the Moody Blues on the loop. Yeah, the Beatles on the loop and Lovely Rita got the bill and Rita paid it. My goodness, that's been happening more and more lately. Gary Wright, Dreamweaver, the title tune from that album, and the Moody Blues Driftwood from the reunion album, too. It's 11:20 with Christopher. We'll do some Fleetwood Mac next. Stay with me for that. Last word is, yes, indeed. The Todd Rundgren concert is rescheduled for tonight and through this weekend, which is kind of nice. We missed it last weekend, but it is going to happen on schedule. So if you're holding tickets, hang on to them. Don't give them away. If you need some more concert information, it's yours 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the Loop line if you call 664-0858. I have an extra Loop shirt I'd like to pass along to you. If you stay with me, please, we'll do that in just a few minutes. Here's a nice tune from Fleetwood Mac on the Loop.
On the glide fast now. Roger, ground control. We are flying high. We're WLUP Chicago, FM 98, The Loop.